Hi, everyone. This is Miranda Ward with the Valuable Voices podcast. I have Kelly here. I'm going to let her introduce herself with her last name just so I don't mess it up. But Kelly, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Miranda. So my name is Kelly Paardekooper. That's a bit of a mouthful.
And from Australia, so thank you for joining. I know we found each other on a Facebook podcast group, and I love just connecting with new people and hearing your story and what you've got going on with your book. So thanks again for joining. And yeah, just dive right in. I know you've got a lot to tell us. So tell us kind of about your journey to where you are today.
Thanks, Miranda. So I've got a background of working in community health. So I've been working there for a bit over 20 years. Love what I do, but there was always something missing. And a little bit of a deep dive of having children and bursting through that change that was children and going from a very black and white world, being in control, really cause and effect, knowing what was going on in my life to just, oh my gosh, I can't cope. And long story short, the deep dive of trying to find out how to cope connected me with my intuition, which was always there, but it was always stuffed down because of that black and white world of achieving. And it's been the vision just came to mind of like a flower blooming. It changed my life so much, and it's led me on this trajectory to now writing a book called Spiritual Being Human, because that is probably the best way to sum up my journey. Discovering that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And up until having children, I was very much in that human experience. And now I'm on this trajectory of going, no, I'm a spiritual being first and foremost. And trying to share what that actually means to me and helping others who might have been a little bit lost in the dark is the whole purpose behind the book.
So give us a glimpse. What does that mean to you? And that could mean very different things to different people, right? So what does that mean to you?
Absolutely. But I've just realized little thing I'd missed. A big missing piece for that was actually that I dismissed it. Having a scientific background, it was always dismissed that there was something more to life. And the missing block has been the science of it. So having that science to back it up, and when you're coming back to when you said that, what does that mean for me? Actually knowing that there is something behind this. There is that explainable science to go, hey, intuition is real. Me knowing and feeling what's going on for someone who's in the next suburb is totally, totally valid. Me understanding and knowing what happened to my children when they come home at the end of the day is real. Having a patient come to me and actually feeling what's wrong and what the underlying root cause, they all have a scientific background, and learning and leaning in and trusting that is a huge part of the process.
Yeah, I have a dear friend that's been studying a lot of this too, and it's mind-blowing. I mean, you could do research, right? So like, where are you, doing your research, or where are you learning about this? What have you done? Books, courses? What does that look like to you?
I started out with a course. It started out with just a little bit of self-study, just being a sponge, whatever I could find, because there's some amazing sort of thought leaders out there who have done a lot of the research and put it out there. But I don't know if anyone else has ever gone down this path. It's a really deep dive, and it can be really, really intense and a little bit daunting. So that was a big part of the book, is also just explaining this in a really straightforward way. So it's really accessible to people. So there's no polar opposites of either really going hard deep into the information or just dismissing it because it's too hard. So that was that middle point to make it really, really accessible. But back to so I started out with a self-study, and then like these little breadcrumbs you just follow that the universe presents you. I discovered a course with an Australian woman called Rikki Jane Adams and the Institute of Intuitive Intelligence. And she's quite a thought leader in her own right, mainstreaming the intuitive sciences. So she really gave me the validation and the tools, and also introduced me to a lot more research that's out there. And that's just opened my world. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so what made you decide to write a book, right? Busy mom. How old are your kids?
10 and 4. No, sorry, 10 and 7. Okay. I don't know where the 4 came from.
Okay. So yeah, busy mom for sure. So what made you decide I want to write this book?
I have always loved reading. Books are part of me. I was that little girl who had that dream of owning my own bookstore. I just drive my husband crazy with how many books are around the house. And I don't know the point that it happened, but I've always wanted to just share my information.
Yeah.
And so writing a book was like this thing on a pedestal that amazing people can do. And I don't know, I would love to do that, but maybe I could never can. And a dear friend of mine started a publishing house, I think it was last year. And it was just that, oh my gosh, if I'm ever going to do it, I have someone in my corner who I can just.
That's awesome.
Give me the kick when I need it, but she also knows and trusts me, and I know and trust her. And she helped me take that leap of faith.
That's great. Does she help a lot of people like that? Because I've had that same thought. It's like, other people write books. That's not something I would do, but I do feel like, and a lot of people I talk to have books or want to write a book because they have a story they want to share, which is obviously why, I have this platform, because I feel like people's voices are valuable. Your story is going to inspire somebody. Somebody's going to want to pick up that book and read it, So it's like, yeah, anybody can write a book, right? But like, does she do that to a lot of the, like, maybe not mainstream people, but like anybody, like a beginner maybe, right? Like a first time?
Absolutely. So her name's Bridget Holder, and she has the Art of Grace Publishing House, which even when I heard that name, it just like something in my heart going, that is just the art of grace. It was so beautiful. And she is about women sharing their stories. Very, very much women-based, and people who don't have to have it perfect. When it comes from the heart, it touches the right person.
Yes, I love that, because I think so many of us can be a perfectionist too, right? And think we have to have it perfect. Absolutely. And no misspelled words and blah, 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 right? Well, that's awesome. I love that you have that. So when's your book come out? What's that look like for you?
31st of August. So that is in Australia a week from today, a week from tomorrow, when we're now talking. And it's really surreal, really, really surreal to think that this book is ready to be read by the rest of the world. It's so exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, and just what you said, that's kind of listening to your intuition, right? Like hearing that title and being like, that feels good in my body, right? That feels like something I want to be connected to, right? I mean, how would you explain, your intuition? Because again, that's something I've been, thinking about too. It's like, we have these thoughts, we have these feelings for a reason, right? And sometimes we question it and we might want to ask somebody else about it, but eventually, and I teach my kids this too, it's like, you've got to trust your inside, right? You've got to trust your intuition. So again, how would you explain that? Or maybe you have an example of what that's like for you.
So for me, we have layers of intuition. And I often go back to when I was a kid and I dreamed about having special powers. It was always something more supernatural, and intuition was one of them, and it was having a sixth sense. And I talk about it in the book that there is no such thing as a sixth sense. Intuition is a layer in our existing senses. So in our sight, we can see something. It's almost like in our mind's eye. We can hear it with our ears. We can even taste it or smell it, and that can be how our intuition communicates with us. It is the I don't want to go into the word God, because I know people have their own relationship with that word, but it is our connection that bridges our physical body with our spiritual essence, whether that be God, whether universe, universal consciousness. But that is that bridging point, is the intuition is that communication channel. And it comes to us through our existing senses that we have grown up with and we know and we are connected. So it's understanding that deeper layer within each of those senses.
Yeah. I love that. So spiritual being human, tell us how you chose that. I know you talked about it a little bit, but how did you choose that title?
I love playing on words. To me, that's that little cheeky play on words, that we're not human beings, we're spiritual beings. And we are in the process of being human in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. So, and it was an intuitive hit. I do my best thinking in the shower. It came to me in the shower and I had to jump out. I've got to remember that. Don't forget that word with when the kids come in and want something done.
Right.
And it came to me, and I just knew that was the word, the title, the words.
I guess you just know, right? Sometimes you just know. So that's so cool. I love that. It all ties.
To trust.
I'm super excited for you. I cannot wait. I love seeing women live out their dreams. And the passion. I mean, again, we might be interested in something, but we don't have the time or the energy to research it, but it's something we want to learn about. And hearing your story, I'm assuming you have parts of your story, but also like research in there. Is that kind of what your book is about?
It is. I do share a little bit. I've tried to keep it respectful of my family, not go too deep into, because a lot of it is their experience that I've learned from, which that's life. We learn from those who we're around and the families we're born into. So I don't go too deep into their stories, but certainly how it's impacted me, and even the lessons just growing up and observing things in the brain, how it, like a big one is deja vu, and just watching and learning about how someone had a huge impactful case of deja vu in their life and how it set my childlike brain into going, well, what's this all really about?
Right. Wow. That's awesome. Well, I'm super excited for you. I can't wait. Let's stay connected. Tell us where people can find you. I know it's kellypaardekooper.com. I'll put the website in the notes, but I don't know if you're on Facebook or anything else, but tell us how to connect with you.
Yes. So the website is a perfect spot, but also I'm on the socials as Facebook and Instagram. And to keep it really simple, it's Kelly Paardekooper.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Again, I'm just blessed to have met you. I love your accent. You're just a beautiful woman. You know, I just connected with being a busy mom. And yeah, I love seeing women, again, just go out and do it. And you're doing it. So I cannot wait. I'm super excited for you, and I can't wait to watch where this takes you. So God bless you, and just thanks for being on.
Thank you, Miranda. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, have a blessed day, everybody. Again, as you guys know, I just love meeting different people from all parts of the world and sharing valuable voices. You know, I think there's so many voices in the world, and we get to choose who we listen to. And I love, you know, positive people like Kelly that are, again, just going after their dreams, finding a passion and a purpose, and just putting it out there to share with the world. So God bless you all, and have a great day.